Hello, who you gonna call? Coonbusters, y'all. This is Dr. Randy Short. It is 4:50 p.m. on the 11th of January. By the way, this is my late brother's birthday. He would be 59 if he'd lived today. And I'm going to do this show in my brother Stephen Nathaniel Jr.'s honor. 59 years today. Wow. My brother would have been 59 years had he lived today. Okay, 59 years. And part of what I'll be talking about in our show is we'll be talking about the crisis of black men. We'll be talking about SIMPS. We're going to talk about SIMPS, and I wish that brothers, you can be a man, you can love a beautiful woman. You do not have to be a toxic simp. I've seen simps, and simps have an upside, but they have a downside. The downside to simps is that who you gonna call? To the YouTube, who you gonna call? Coonbusters. I'm talking about toxic simps today. And yes, I'm repeating myself in the different feeds. Hi to you 8 that are over on StreamYard, and to you on Facebook, hi. And to you on YouTube, hello. This is Dr. Randy Short. Yes, I'm repeating my steps. So what? I'm worth it. We're talking about toxic simps today. Do y'all know any weak black men where they'll do anything? What will you do for a Klondike bar? We need to have a thing. What will you do for some cooch? I mean, even if it's not yours, even if it will kill you, even if it doesn't love you in return, we're going to have to not be simps, brothers, sisters. Being a simp isn't really being a man. And I'm amazed at the simps that I've met of all ages, men into their 80s and 90s, still begging. Like the world's going to run out of sex if you don't beg someone. Please. Women don't respect a man that has no dignity. They'll put up with you. Okay. This chicken here has more dignity. This thing has more dignity than you simps do. This little chicken has more dignity than a lot of the simps that I know. I mean, they just have no dignity. They can't stand up. Well, just do what your mama said. I just want to get something tonight. I want to stand up to her over you. Just do whatever she say. Just let the women run stuff, right? We've got a culture of simpism, and it's pathetic. And whereas I get it, at least you're not getting screwed in the booty by a man. And I guess that's a major accomplishment. We should put a star on the walk of fame. I didn't get boned in the ass by a man. And yes, I'm glad you didn't. But my God, we make so much of heterosexuality, and yet we fucking fail in it. Where are the families? All this divorce and shit out here. All this divorce. Abortions and shit. And, well, if we're going, I'm going to give the gay people hell. I got to give the straight people some hell. So we're going to be talking about simps. Do I have a picture of my brother here? I do. I think there's a picture of my brother nearby. My brother, wow. My brother would have been 59 had he lived today. I think this is a picture of my brother, my uncle. My brother was a cadet at the University of Virginia. My brother was a football player. He's about 6'2", weighed 250 pounds. I was all muscle, not a lot of fat. But, oh my God, if I just talked about my brother's marriage, Jesus, man, and he married a jackass woman. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about her as a bossy, ungrateful, difficult woman that he picked, and he was always kissing her ass. And she's alive and he's dead. She's made it in her 60s, right? And his ass didn't get out of his 50s. Simping. There's a lot of simp black men out here. Weak, cowardly, frightened, or, figure, man, if I got, they are more clingy to a woman that doesn't want them than I've seen women in the third world, where women have no status. Having a man is like having a life. We have a lot of simp black men, and we need fewer simps. We need men definitely that are interested in forming families and being with the woman and loving and caring for that woman, but they need to be able to stand up. And we're going into a very difficult period in our country and in our community as black people and black men. As I said, black men want to get a Presidential Medal of Freedom for being heterosexual. You're supposed to be attracted to women, jackass. I mean, we want like gold medals for the banality, for the basics that you're supposed to get covered. Now, maybe if you become a great father and a great husband, there should be a medal. But just getting a rise in your thighs because you're looking at the opposite sex, that's to be expected. And the thing is, it's interesting, all these players and lovers, and in reality, they're beggars. They have no authority at the job, no authority in the church, no authority in their homes. I mean, you come home and you're bullied by your kids and your wife. Or if you're a tough dude, you're hard on every single solitary male that you know. And you're simp on every single solitary female that you know. That's unbalanced. You should be as critical, fairly, of men and women. We have a major inequality problem. I'm going to say this. A lot of boomer simps really disgust me. A lot of older black men, some of y'all are just some of the sorriest, most weak, no good black men I've ever seen. And the reason I'm saying that, an unnamed person, I won't tell you who it is because it would create a scandal. Two of them, one in their 70s, one in their 80s, had someone that was trying to use me call them and play on them and say shit. I've done nothing to this person. I have not screwed them. I'm not doing anything. Went and tried to get them to use me to get something done for them that requires payment. The things I may do for people, try to help someone here or there as I can. Sometimes you cannot. When people, and this is something simp-ass black men do, and I watch it. And by the way, as much as black women bitch and complain, simps are good to y'all, because a simp will do all kinds of things, hoping to maybe one day get some, or at least be in a position to test the waters to get some later. Okay, do all kinds of stuff that you'd have to pay people to do typically. I'm not saying in all instances everything is transactional, but in our community, unfortunately, the way our morals are, every damn thing is transactional. Yeah, I know I'm telling the truth. Somebody tell me I'm lying. That when you deal with someone, people expect something, either sex or money. I just do. And I don't know, I can't say who's worse. In fact, I got my guests here. And I'm going to add them. How you doing, Brother Coolic?
Evening, Dr. Phil. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm like a white man in Africa. Everything is going my way.
That's right.
And I just started talking to people about simps and weak-ass black men and punk ass black men that are heterosexual. At least they like pussy. But you know, niggas want to get they want to get an Oscar, a Grammy, a Tony, a star on the Walk of Fame, a Mark Twain Award because they like pussy. You're supposed to like pussy. And in fact, a bunch of you broads should like dick. I mean, those niggas need Fort Knox to look at a man. I mean, you don't put a couple of gold bullion, you know, and we talk about a woman, she's so big she has to turn sideways to get in the door at the store, and everybody's supposed to want her, right?
Right.
Hello to everybody. I've got Brother Coolic. Y'all won't be able to see him on the on the Facebook and on the YouTube, but you'll be able to hear him if I put his voice all the way up. So turn your volume up as high as you can, Brother Coolic.
Okay, it's all the way up.
It's all the way up. I hope y'all can hear him because we're gonna be talking about simps. And I have a picture ahead of my my brother. This was his birthday. He would be 59 if he were living today.
Right.
His name's Stephen Jr. And this is his uniform when he was at Virginia Military Institute, which, of course, you know, has been investigated for extreme racism and injustice of how badly my brother went through that. But it wasn't the crackers at VMI that did him. My brother basically was the kind of black man that always tried to do what his woman wanted.
Right.
And he didn't have a woman that gave a damn, care as much about him as he did for her. And I see a whole lot of weak ass black men out there thinking that they can buy the love of a woman or they can hump a woman into loving them. They can do some power fucking or whatever. It ain't like that. And on top of that, a lot of simps, a lot of black men that are simps, they're complete chumping with their woman, but they are tyrannical assholes towards other, in particular, black men. Kill a black man, I've had to explain to a very dear friend of mine that he's simpish. I'm going to give you a simp story. Friend picks me up. I love this friend. We've been friends for forever. He has a girlfriend. Let me just say this. She's a dyke who likes to have a boyfriend. See how black women get to have it? And black men don't complain about having a lesbian girlfriend that screws women.
Right.
The woman, if she even knew the dude screwed a man 20 years and never did it again, she'd still be screaming about it like it was going on right then and there.
Right.
And it's despicable. I hate it. So I get in the car, and I'm not saying anything because my friend is a simp. And I know there's nothing I can do. If the bitch decides to attack me, he's not going to protect me from his weaponized dyke friend. It's going to be left for me to figure out how to deflect her attacks and not offend him because he wants to get some pussy tonight. So I'm supposed to withstand whatever she does to me so he can get some. Are you understanding me?
I understand you clearly.
And I'm like, damn, why'd he come over with this bitch? We hate each other. I mean, I don't bother her. I get it. She munches carpet part-time. I'm really not hostile like that. Go munch carpet. Just leave me alone. But what it was, she always liked to try to figure out, show you how evil she is and how stupid he is as a simp. She's trying to figure out who his friends are, hoping that she can find out that he's gay. So she can sit down and she can talk down to him about his homosexuality, which he wasn't in any stretch of the imagination, to justify her being gay is better than his being gay. So she's trying to figure out what our friendship is.
Right.
So I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to not have a problem with him and with her. And then she starts to have this really stupid conversation. Because not too long before that, I would just get together with my buddies and we just talk. Politics, whatever. She complained, would get angry. Like, what are you guys doing? And I'm thinking, so she's assuming, look, if I've known this person since before I was 10 years old, and that was in my 40s then, if I was going to screw this person, don't you think it would happen closer to 10
Right.
than in my 40s?
Right.
Right? I held up, I was holding the nut like 30 years. It took me all, come on, give me credit. If I was gonna be a sodomite, I would have got mine long before she was known
Right.
versus just holding, trying to hold the nut like 30, like 30 years, trying to hold it.
Right.
So I says, okay, look, he calls me whining. And I'm like, damn, I've got to prove something to this bitch when I've done nothing to her. Says, look, have her hang out with us. I don't care. I mean, she's a little druggy too. She liked smoking K too.
Right.
It's for real. The shit that makes you go crazy.
Right.
She loved it. Okay. So she comes and she hangs out. Then she's angry because all we did was watch documentaries in South Park and talk. And she's disappointed. So what was she expecting? A sex party? I'm living in a church parsonage?
Right.
I mean, what? Anyway, so now understand you. So they need to sit over and make certain that we're not doing some homo shit. Okay. For her, who's gay, to feel comfortable about us, she needs to monitor our sexuality while she's gay. This is how black women have it. And I resent the fuck out of dumbass black men who let the women have all kinds of crazy sex with white men and everybody else and white women. And they're always trying to prove how straight they are to women who are as crooked as a candy cane on crack.
Right.
So I get in the truck and the riding. And the same woman who is worried about what we guys do starts saying, you know, my boss is gay. And she had a party at her house only for girls. And it was cool. Nobody did anything. It was just bitches dancing. That's a quote. Just bitches dancing. And I said, well, if I went to a boss's party that was gay, it was just dudes, and nobody was having sex, but they were dancing, what would you call that? And she says, that's some gay shit. Fuck that, right?
Right.
And I asked the driver, my friend, well, what do you think? I agree with her, that's gay. So the gay women having a party is straight. Straight men having a party is gay. And I said to my friend, you wonder why you get fucked over by women? It's because you're weak as shit. You don't have a standard for women, but you do have rules and regulations for men. This is why you've been fucked over repeatedly by women in your life. Okay, now, I'm not saying the name. That person's on their third divorce. I could have told them, okay, this is another wife, foreigner from the Caribbean. You know the island that has the meanest women. You know which one.
Right.
I don't have to say. Okay. And I finally, I think I got an agreement from this one friend I deeply love. The next time, please, can we meet or look at who it is that I might be able to see something that you don't see. And something else was said because, you know, I asked, I don't mind people's business. By the way, I've never asked you if you're married, if you're dating. I don't mind your business. Have you noticed that? I'm not interested in what people do because if it's not me, if it's not my mucous membranes, what difference does it make? Okay, I'm just saying. Now, I simply asked the question. They've been married for at least a year. How was she? Period. Okay. I never asked questions, but I just asked. And they had vanished. They'd left and locked them out, all this other kind of stuff. They're paying all the bills and shit, taking care of multiple families and shit, you know. And what happened, an ex-girlfriend who they had stopped talking to years ago had used corruption through someone who had access to government information to track him down. And she began calling and even called the wife. And the wife took the side of the ex who's mentally ill, who he had a civil protection order, and believed her that he was cheating. She wants him back.
Right.
And the wife doesn't sit down and say, wait a minute, I'm my husband's supervisor. My husband travels a lot. I know his schedule because I'm in charge of it. There's no way he could be screwing her on the dates or something because I'm monitoring what they're doing because their money's made on the traveling.
Right.
Needless to say, I think somebody's learning a lesson. They're in their 50s. I hope they learn. As for my brother, whose wife, oh my God, she was she's still living a jackass. She, the thing that eats me the most is that there was no way to please her. Everything had to be just her way and no other way.
Right.
And my brother, who's a strong man, 6'2", 250 pounds, very strong, weak as shit when it comes down to dealing with his wife. And I've told him in this very room, you're fucking her, not me. I will never kiss her ass because you're laid up with her. You kiss her ass. It's your bitch, your problem. Okay. And I said fat bitch. And tell her, yes, she know not to fuck. Absolutely not. He's deceased. But let me tell you, if they lived somewhere, they couldn't live close to the city, which means it had to be a lot of commuting. And she wasn't interested in driving. And she wouldn't take public transit, won't learn to drive, won't get her own car. You couldn't get her in a taxi. The only way she'd go to work is if he drove her. And so he had to take her and pick her up from work for years. Can you believe this shit?
Wow.
And and he could defend this shit because he was a simp. I love my brother, but he's a simp. And I'm sort of on a certain level, him not being alive, his escape from his simp master. Because the night before he passed, she called me. And what she called me about was what she wanted me to do. Yep, it is harsh. I'm harsh as hell. It's abusive as hell what was done. My brother, by the way, when they were separated because they were sick, he lost like 200 pounds. His hair began to grow back. She worried him so much, his hair would fall out from the stress that she put him through. His weight, everything began to come back. And when they reconnected, his hair fell back out and he gained all the weight back. And it's like, wow. And I knew people, there was a network of weak ass, sorry ass, Black men and women in the family that didn't see this for what this is. I'm absolutely refuse. Because there's a certain point where someone tried to play this game, and I said, you know what? You killed my brother. You will not kill my mother, and you definitely won't kill me. It's absolutely not happening. Okay? You'll die first, and I not speak to you before you stress me. I will have no stress. Okay? You killed one person's family. That's the last one you'll kill. I don't care about the in-laws, none of, to hell with all of y'all. Y'all know that this is a crazy ass woman, and you're not going to put me through it. But do you know that other people, I mean, I had, this uncle here, my father's brother.
Right.
He asked me about this situation. And I said, it is like I'm telling you. because I'm male, and this is what I hate about Black American men. Black American men are the cattiest, bitchiest men of all times. I've never met a more bitchy, weak-ass, backstabbing, fucked up group of men than Black American men. Because you can't tell anyone anything and them actually take it for what it is. The reason he didn't listen to me is I'm male criticizing a female.
Right.
I just wouldn't tell the truth. I just had to be, it had to be, I'm sexually frustrated, I'm not fucking her, or it's something. It couldn't be, I see it for what it is, I call it for what it's like.
Right.
This is my fucking family, mind you. Only after she did something that fucked up his phone.
Right.
She left so many messages bitching for money and all this other kind of shit until it ruined his phone. That he says, this broad is crazy.
Right.
And I'm like, why would I lie? You think I'm jealous of him? Jealous of that? I'm not jealous. I feel sorry. I can't do anything. I have to accept it. I told people years before the death occurred, this broad's gonna kill my brother. I can't stop it. Wow. And anyway, it's like, let me tell you how deep it is.
Yeah.
The only invitation that I ever got to visit their house, well, there are only 3 times I got, no, twice. Been married close to 30 years. I had 2 invitations to their home. That's a lot, isn't it? Okay. Hey, anyway, the first time was back in the 90s, like 1991. Wow, it'll be 30 years. It'll be 30 years in a couple of weeks. And the other time was about 10 years ago. The invitation was for me to come and clean the black mold that was in their house.
Wow.
I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad about it. Just like that, but crazy. But my brother's a simp. My brother's a nice guy. My brother was able to be strong, work in security, kick people's asses. But when it came down to this female thing, complete simp.
Right.
Simp. Hold on. Now let me get back to you. I gotta say some more. Give you 2 more simp stories, and then we can just break it down.
Right.
My brother got with the wife that he had. In his mind, he was getting back at the girlfriend that dumped him.
Right.
My brother thought he was a player, and I've never been a person as a player. I either want to be with this woman, very much a lover, or I don't bother, ladies. I think women have the right to move around, to be left alone. Don't yell and scream at some woman. You don't know her. You don't care about her. She's not yours. I believe that we should have a hell of a lot more respect for women just in their space. I think you live that way as well. So if I like someone, yes. If I'm not really interested, I'm polite to leave you alone. I'm not going to bother you. Hey, what's up? What's up, big butt? Hey, big butt. Big butt, you. You with the big butt. You know I'm talking about.
Let me holler.
Okay. I can't do that. I will never do that. I've never understood it. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's stupid.
Right.
And I also don't like dudes who are simping. There's another type of simp. Have you ever walked in the street and go, man, I smell so much pussy out there. You see the bitch over there? God damn. Look at her ass over there. Oh, look at that. Look at that ass. That's pussy. And they go Cocoa Puffs over pussy just walking up and down the street. And it's like, man, I could see pussy from behind my head. Man, look back there. And I'm thinking, Black men, please. I'm sick of pussy histrionics. If you like someone, talk to them respectfully. All of this posturing, man, I could smell that pussy from across the street. I mean, she must be using the floral massengill, because you know, and I'm like, okay, I get it. You like pussy, please. You don't have, it's not cat calling, it's hoe calling. It's disrespectful. It's awful. We could treat our women better than that. Some women like to be related to like that. I don't think most do. And it doesn't, by the way, when we yell and say that kind of stuff to our women, I want to tell you, a lot of that comes from slavery. That's the way that white men used to yell at black women when they were owned as chattel. We're copying how white men exploited our ancestral women. It's disgraceful, black men. There's some shit we need to let go of. That's one thing if you blow a whistle or something like that, but just this constant thing, it's nasty, it's degenerate. And by the way, you don't do that to white women, because white men or someone would cut your throat. You do this to black women because they're not protected or respected. Simp ass, weak ass, stupid ass black men. It's just, there's no place for it. I hope I lose some followers. I don't like simp ass niggas, because at the end of the day, they're not doing child support or husbandry or family. You're not as interested. In fact, how much of that is to impress dudes? There's a whole lot of dudes that just puff up their attraction to women to get attention from men. It's, damn, I'd rather you just be gay than to drag the women through the mud like that for you to chase after dudes. I mean, real talk. Now, back to that. My other simp story is that this girlfriend that my brother had, I could tell she couldn't care a damn about my brother.
Right.
But, my brother couldn't see it. And I said, I don't think your girlfriend likes you. And my brother said, you're a virgin. You don't know anything about women. I says, when she breaks your heart, let's not talk about it.
Right.
Anyway, wow, this is 1983. I had this incredible dream. It was so vivid. So I called my brother up to say, hey, Steve, your girlfriend's going to leave you in about 2 weeks. Her boyfriend is named William. He's a government employee. He's like a GS-12. He lives in Southwest DC. He's got a yacht. He's got a sports car, Jeep, and a regular car. He lives in a 3-story townhouse with shag rug in Southwest DC. And she's going to dump you. And my brother laughed. I says, okay, you can laugh at me as long as I don't have to listen to you cry over her when it happens. That's my deal. Disrespect me. Go ahead. Well, 2 weeks later, my brother calls me crying. Everything I told him was factual, except the guy went by Bill instead of William. Are you understanding me, Brother Coolic? Yes. I mean, I called that shit down. Okay, that's a revelation from God. I told his ass. And I had this, over a lifetime, I would tell my brother stuff I had seen that was going to happen. And he'd always ignore it. When he got screwed, he'd come back crying, never listen. I'm sorry. For all these people listening to me, I get a better listenership from people who've never met me than from people that folks who just take it for granted. I told my brother, hey, look, you're going to be set up for stealing $50,000 at your job by the 2 crackers you work with. Right. Says, how do you know? I says, I just dreamt it. You're forging your name or putting it on something. Stop doing that. Get rid of that shit. And my brother told me, oh, no, I'm just signing. I have their permission to sign their names on security classes I'm taking. I says, okay, fine. 2 weeks later, my brother's thrown in jail for stealing $50,000. Their justifications that my brother forged their names. Then they forged his shit on when they stole the money. And wow, but do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that came after that. That was another dream. I did sit down. Anyway, simps, we have them in our families. We have uncles, we have godfathers. They're simps. These are black men who never stand up. They never speak up for themselves. They're really hard on young black men, and they're weak when it comes down to females.
Right.
You know, I've got one more simp story because I'm just tired of simps, and it's not people that I don't love. These are people I care about very much, but the simpism is just ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. All I can tell you is that the one thing that I can tell is the ultimate simp thing, and I'm glad I'm not a simp. And it's a story. Basically, my grandfather was a simp. He always did whatever my grandmother said. And just, it's like, damn. For example, my grandfather was a great hunter and fisher, right? My grandfather's a black Indian.
Right.
My grandmother did not want him to take us hunting or fishing. And there was always a reason. We were too young, and then when the older we got, it never happened. I never went on one hunting or fishing trip with my grandfather because my grandmother didn't want that to happen.
Right.
Your whole fucking life, not one time. And he never bucked and said, okay, they're 18, they're 19. I mean, like I said, my brother's in the military academy. I mean, he can't hunt. I mean, you can fight in the army, but you can't. I mean, you're just never grown up enough.
Right.
And ultimately, wow, it would be 25 years ago last Christmas that we were eating dinner down in Pineville, North Carolina, outside of Charlotte.
Right.
And my grandfather was making noises, and my grandmother says he wants to go to the hospital, but I don't want him to go and tell the doctor that I comes back to town. And I told him he eats too much salt. Now, mind you, who prepares food for grandpa?
Right.
Grandma.
Right.
What the hell is that, right?
Right.
And so my grandfather has chest pains, right? And he's such a simp until in his own home, he can have his desire to get medical care denied to him by grandma. And I'm sitting there, and one person who's not a simp is my late father, but he's not saying anything because, see, there are different types. You don't have to be a simp, but you can simp when you don't have to. A lot of black men are passive simpers. They'll be simps if they think it's strategic, right?
Right.
So here you are, a man in his 80s, I think my grandfather would have been 85, having chest pain. And you just heard him say, well, he can't go to see a doctor until someone comes back in town, and he's having chest pain.
Right.
Well, I'm not a simp, Brother Coolic. So I laid those niggas out at Christmas Day. I cussed them all out. I cussed everybody out. I cussed grandma out, mother out. I cussed everybody out. And I went off on the fake ass church niggas talk about God. This man needs medical care. We've got the insurance. And you can do this bullshit. And I said, Grandma, you never let him take us hunting. Now I have to sit up and watch him die because you're the matriarch. Fuck that. I don't want to sit down and eat with y'all. I want to storm out. I had cussed him out. My grandmother had never been cussed out like that. And man, they were just undone because I pitched the pitch in there. I didn't care. Anyway, I guess I cussed my grandmother out so badly they had to take her in the room, calm her down, right?
Right.
Of which I feel great. I'd do it all over again if I had a chance to do it. When they took my grandmother in her room, My grandfather came out and he began gasping for air. And I proceeded to start cussing and screaming again, just acting like a crazy nigga. And my father came out and I went off on my father. This, damn you gonna let him die to like kiss grandma's ass? What's your problem, preacher? And my father says, calm down. And the EMS people came. My grandfather had had 6 small heart attacks. 7, actually. And you know, when you have small ones, a big one's coming, right? He would have died had I not visited and acted like a nigga. And when he was at the hospital, and this is what happens to black men at the simps. Once they come up, then everyone accepts it. Then you become a simp.
Right.
The whole family system helps you be a simp. And you're not seen as much of a man. Everyone goes and says, well, what do you do, grandma? Like he's not even there.
Right.
And I'll never forget my grandfather saying to me, when no one was quite listening, you're the only one that cares about me.
Right.
The only person that said, you know what, I'm a pitch a bitch in here. I mean, this is my grandfather. What the F? I mean, I'm serious. I've never done that in a family setting ever, except for that one time in 56 years. But it was worth it. My grandfather lived another 10 years.
Right.
But my grandfather would have probably died had someone not tripped. But my grandfather was a simp. I mean, and my grandfather's strong. My grandfather could lift up cars, would wrestle. My grandfather could break a brick probably with this. He was that strong physically, but simpish. And we have these very strong simp-ass black men. Man, they'll kill another black dude. In fact, I had to point this out to my friend who was defending the lesbians dancing and shit. Say to him, you know, you're in line and a sister bust in front of you and you won't say anything because it's female. If a male bumped into you from behind by accident, you'd be ready to execute him. How come, and I'm not talking about being violent with one another, why is it that we're so able as black men to deal with anger and rage when it's with men, but we seem to be incapable of dealing with our being respected as men, dealing with a lot of sisters? I'm going to give you one more non-simp story, and there's hope. There's hope. There's a hope story. I was in Aldi's last Tuesday. Went with my friend who had the lesbian girlfriend that he got rid of. Thank God. And when we got to the point of checkout, you know, that's social distancing and all.
Right.
I wanted to give the broad, for some reason, space. I didn't know her. Just when I'm out in public, because a lot of really toxic pork chop feminist asshole women, there are a lot of asshole black women out there. They're just asses. You've lived in the DMV. You just don't want any problems. Seriously.
Right.
And so give her as much space because I don't want any problems. And when I looked, but my friend, who's not thinking, see, he still got simp in him. He's not recognizing that I'm trying to give that woman space so there's no crap. So what? So he says, man, go ahead, put it up there so we can move it. I understand he wants to get home. He's doing me a favor. And I look and there are no dividers anywhere in the store. It's a ghetto store. Someone's stolen the dividers. Maybe they're using it as a sex toy. And it's nothing to divide my stuff from her stuff. And all of a sudden I see that's going to be a problem with her later. I don't even know this black lady. I know she's going to find some way to get into a fight over it.
Right.
And I find a food container that was empty and I put it between our food.
Right.
And I figure, okay, now they won't say I'm trying to get some free groceries or whatever. This broad is about 15 feet away from me. I've got a mask on, and so does my friend. She comes back and she's nice at first and says, is this all of our stuff? And I says, it's all of your stuff up to the clear container. Let me share with you what the black lady did and what some of you black women do. And I'm just telling y'all, you're coming into a new age, black women. The millennials, they're not like me. They don't have the same respect for women. Okay, they don't. There's going to be an incredible amount of violence against a large number of black women. I don't want it to happen, but it's coming because of how a lot of y'all operate. I'm just telling you. These are folks who didn't come up with a mother and father. They've been put on psychotropic drugs. They're in foster care. You name it. They don't have the same socialization that I have. So when the lady hears me speak, because it's what, proper English, whatever, it's presumed he's weak. I can treat him any old kind of way. This is what you black women do. This is what you guys do. And she proceeds to start yelling and screaming about how close our things were to hers. She's got no mask on. I've got a mask on. My friend has a mask on. You're supposed to have a mask on to be in the damn store. The sisters don't have to wear masks. I hate the mask, but I put it on because that's the rule.
Right.
She begins yelling and screaming about this, about how close and social distancing. She starts yelling all this stuff at us. And I'm looking at two things because my little ear was on. It looked like the black woman was trying to establish a romantic connection to the white woman with the bleach blonde hair that was a checker. And this is a black woman flirting with the white woman.
Right.
Who starts a fight with two black men unprovoked, I guess to show her feminine masculinity to the white woman.
Right.
And I wasn't in a good mood. And I said, nobody's trying to be close to you, okay? I don't know what you're talking about. And I turned my back. Now, show you how black sisters are. When my friend figured out what was going on, he said in a loud voice, "Is that bitch talking to us?" I knew two things about my friend. When he's angry, you can't calm him down. And then two, if I agreed, yes, she's speaking to us, that would have accelerated it. So I didn't say anything because even though this woman's a jackass, I didn't want her to get beaten up by my friend in the store. But when he said, because he's more street level than I, when she heard someone black and male who sounded like he beat a woman out of her consciousness, she disappeared. Black women, get the message. If I were a younger man modeling that, black women respect terror and fear and cruelty more so than politeness and tact. It doesn't count to women. Which means if I use the B word, if I'm ready to use force on a woman, she'll respect me more than a man that's tactful and doesn't put their hands. This is how many of you sisters are, and you will get what you're looking for. You will encounter a generation of men that are equal opportunity beaters. They will beat a man, they will beat a woman. They don't care. I want to say something to you. All this feminist garbage where you hear about powerless women. Let me just tell you, the new chief of police for DC's Capitol Hill Police is female. All these men here is women in power. Women in power. A new black woman this, a black woman that. Women do not seem like they are powerless or that they need to be protected. Women seem to be either equals or superiors. Above the law, I mean, out of control, not equal, but superiors, meaning that they are worthy of being knocked down. And y'all don't see it, and I don't advocate it, but I'll give you some examples. Number one, in Chicago, a young lesbian woman, Black Lives Matter, was leading a protest on the mayor's house up in Chicago. And the police had given people orders, this, that, and the other. And I know from being a public school teacher, orders that you gave were only for male students. The female students had the right to disobey all they wanted. And a lot of black women have been raised out of control, unruly, and no one talks about it. And I don't care how you feel about it. This is what's going on. Y'all are seen as lawless, out of control people, deserving of being checked. And by the way, the people that they're going to check you with, Latinos. Latino women do not respect black women at all. And Latino men don't either. And they see black men as weak, and they see black men as suckers for letting women run wild. It's their culture. So there are tens of millions of people who are going to be put in positions as they're firing black women from the banks, from retail jobs, they're replacing you with Latinas. They do not cut black women slack. Yeah, if you think black men are difficult, I know what it's like. I worked for 10 years with Latinos, and the word for black women was bitch, was the number one word in reference to black women. Bitch. You know, when we're having our refrigerator brought in here, and I had to get my mother to chill out. She's going to try to talk to the Latino workmen like she's in charge. And so my mother, Mom, you don't get it. Where they come from, women don't give orders to men. So when I talk to them, they do it. When she talked to them, they'd ignore her. I says, Mom, you're making it harder trying to be the dominant person. It doesn't matter if you own the house and I live here. They see me, I'm the man of the house. When you try to talk to them, that's offensive to them. You want them to set this thing up right? Let me talk to them. If you try to go in, I'm strong. And so a lot of black women have been able to run this game. It's really over. Now, back to the woman in Chicago. The police are giving the instruction. They want people to move, blah, 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 right? And the young black woman, she's got tattoos and she's strong and she's gay and all, and she, and nobody tells her what to do. Not my father, right? Okay. You know what? Policeman says something to her. And as I've seen many times, black woman felt she had the right to put her hands on someone. She assaulted the white officer, and the white officer didn't hit her. But a black officer punched her, and he knocked all of her teeth out in front of a crowd of black people, and nobody came to her aid. Nobody came to her aid. I don't think that that's good for black women to not be protected, but I do want black women to understand. When you say it's not all of us, but it's too many, all the defensive women in the feeds, understand something. When I go to get a cab, I may not get anyone to pick me up because enough black men have killed or robbed cabbies where I pay for it, whether I'm a good tipper or not. None of that counts. I'm black, I'm male. It's assumed that I could be a threat or a robber or a thief, no matter what, whether business, dress, profession, no matter. And in many ways, black women under this double preference system of affirmative action, you guys got a double break, and black men got double licks. There's a new system now that collectively casts aspersion on black women, the same way black men get collectively punished. I remember being a student at Harvard and some guy raped a white woman. Wow, this is 30 years ago. Raped her on the campus in the Science Center at Harvard. And for 3 months, all the black men on Harvard's campus were harassed. And it turned out this guy wasn't even a Harvard black student. He was someone passing through, but everyone, black and male, had to pay for it.
Right.
We black men deal with this collective punishment, regardless of how we do it.
Right.
Black women haven't been punished collectively for what many of you do, for many, many, many of you do.
Right.
And I'm trying to tell you that the punishment is here. You will begin to collectively be punished for what other sisters do. There is a solution. A solution is for black women to start kicking black women in the ass that are out of control.
That's right. That's right.
I don't see it happening. I can give you another situation around the corner, waiting for the bus. 2 black lesbians, one black lesbian proceeds to beat another black lesbian while she's holding a baby. Let me tell you what the black women did that were nearby. They turned their backs to not see it. In fact, if I want to compare how black women are dealing with these issues and gender, black women are just like white people are. They're like the good white people that don't do a fucking thing.
Right.
When they see wrong.
Right.
You can't tell me that in the family courts and all that y'all don't see some of these women are lying. That this, I've noticed the same silence of white people when they know other white people are doing wrong. Black women do the same thing. Do you know why white people are silent? Because there's a privilege and a power
right.
that they have that they would lose if they told the truth.
Right.
Many of you black women get privileges and power at the expense of black men being dehumanized. And you love that power and that privilege.
Right.
And you don't want to lose it. I get it. But what you don't get is that it's the same way that black women and black men voted differently over Trump. No other group of men and women had such disparate voting patterns, meaning that Latino women were on code with Latino men, white women on code with white men, black women on code with gays, lesbians, and deviants, and black men. A significant number of black men were breaking with that.
Right.
At some point, y'all gonna have to face this. And I'll tell you what I dislike about these so-called conscious community people. They're not honest. And matriarchy is killing us because that's what we've got.
Right.
We've had 50 years of matriarchy. It's killing us.
It ain't done shit.
If this is what women's rule is, I don't want it no more.
Right.
Am I saying I want men to mistreat women or I'm against women getting education? Absolutely not. But if I said to you, the first time I saw someone attempt to rape someone, well, no. Well, the first time I've seen a male try to rape a female, because it was a female person who had authority, my teacher, who lived 2 blocks from me. Mrs. Epps saw a young woman get attacked by a man who said, "Give me some pussy." Boy said that to a girl, was humping on her, grinding, knocked her on the floor, and did it in front of the woman teacher. The woman teacher didn't complain to protect her job. When I went back and asked the teacher why she didn't do anything, she gave a false report to my father for my father to punish me, to cover up for the fact that this woman, who was a teacher, who had the power in the classroom, who knew that one student sexually assaulted another, she wanted to protect her position as a teacher. That's the first time I says, wow, some of what bad happens to women, women facilitate.
Right. Right.
A huge amount of it. A lot of this stuff falls on, and this is one of these strong black women types, the same way Sheila Jackass Lee, who entered in the impeachment articles against Donald Trump. You can go look that broad up. Sheila Jackson Lee was stripped of her position within the Congressional Black Caucus leadership because a young woman who was raped working for the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation filed charges against her rapist. Sheila Jackass Lee fired the woman for trying to get legal redress from the man that raped her. Meaning Sheila Jackson Lee was on the side of the man that raped the woman. And this happens a lot when they start saying men. No, there are enough in our community. There are more black women ministers and lawyers, relatively speaking, to every other group in the country. We are the most equal, if not most unequal demographic in the country. A lot of this happens is no damn excuse because there are way too many black women that are lawyers, judges, teachers, professors, you name it. When you look at the amount of rape, abuse, and molestation that occurs in the AME church, they've got all these AME female ministers, pastors, bishops. What do these women do any differently from the men? In fact, I suggest that they're worse.
Yeah.
And one of the things that makes them worse is that when they're women, because I'm telling you, women have a vanity and a narcissism that's unique to them. They don't like criticism. To me, you shouldn't be in leadership of any kind if you can't handle criticism.
Right.
You want to be a leader, and if someone even mentions, hey, you take it, well, what do you mean a rape took place in my parish? Nobody called you a rapist. We bring you the information brought for you to do something so no one else gets raped. They take this and you don't like me. And I was like, damn.
Right.
Now take over, brother. Talk to me. Because you're in here with simps and the pork chop feminism and the problems that we're having. Because, look, we're going into a race war and a civil war in this country. I'm going to tell you something. Some of the people that ran into the Capitol the other day had black girlfriends.
Right.
Had black wives.
Right.
Now, do you realize if there had been some white women with Confederate flags running and a black man was married, man, whoo. And the thing that I'm going to leave it with this so you can take over. I know we have a major simp problem. When Meghan Markle married this English guy,
Right.
the black women, I heard more folks having water slides in their private parts, watching this prince marry this black woman, and them wishing it was them marrying into royalty. But had that been a white princess marrying a black man, none of y'all would have watched it. None of y'all would have celebrated. Y'all would have beefed and nagged and trashed. And why'd he pick an African princess? Why he have to go over there to find someone? But when the half black lady goes to Europe and gets with the white dude,
right.
When everybody's excited, oh wow, she's a princess now.
Right.
Yeah, I do focus on. Someone said this. Do you think I'm extreme, brother? Because someone on here saying uh, where's my subject? You know what? Go to another website. We talk about something different. Hold on. Go somewhere. Anybody that don't want to talk about simps, isn't that what we're talking about?
That's right.
Professor Black Truth and all these other people. There are 1,000 sites. You won't control the narrative on this platform. You won't. And I'll be talking about Chicago and black stuff. What when this maybe later today, but right now we want to talk about simps.
Right.
So I could care less about how people see it, because I'll tell you something. We won't have a movement for reparations or anything if black men and black women can't get our shit together. If I can't go to a store and buy food without almost getting into a violent altercation with a black person I don't know, you don't come together. You can't have unity with this kind of toxicity. Okay, so, but back to Meghan Markle. I'm not unhappy. I mean, the dude used to wear Nazi uniforms. I can put that up there and show you. He was all into the Nazis, and now he's not. Okay. So Meghan Markle, and I guess the booty's so good he left the palace for it. You know, I mean, so somebody knows something. I mean, it was good to him, and so I'm not mad. I don't hate. I'm not anti inter-ethnic marriages, because it's going to happen no matter what I think or don't think. But what I have a problem with was how people were gasping and saving the newspapers and, oh, Meghan Mark, you would have thought. And they had a black choir. Should you have a black choir at your wedding if you wanted one? I mean, the way that folk were saying the white prince chose her. He chose me. I saw people, black women vicariously getting into being taken into the royal white family that had killed Diana not too long ago for getting into bed with a semi-black man.
Right.
They killed the mother for what the son's doing.
Right.
And all they wanted was the blood.
Right.
All they want was, they didn't want her. They don't want Meghan. She's better looking than them, better dressed than them, was more about it, and they hated. They're going to kill her. They'll probably poison her tea or something. But all the sisters, they didn't think about how cruel and brutal the royal family was. But the prince picked me. He picked a sister. See, we got it. And, you know, because we know how to work it. But if it's a black man and he gets a white woman that's important, and I know a lot of black men go dumpster diving for white women. Oh, my dear Patrick Weaver, how I miss you. We miss Patrick. And that was sort of simpish what happened there too. Lord Jesus, help us, Jesus. These are people you care about. I mean, it's, and I'm not mad at them being in love, although these strange love relationships, but these simp. But notice how for Meghan Markle, nobody said that's a fucking white dude.
Right.
That you with. Why you want to get with that white dude? Why couldn't you find a black dude with less drama? And I'm not saying, you know, but black women, y'all are not honest. Y'all are the biggest liars in the land. Y'all celebrated Meghan Markle. I saw y'all. I seen y'all, like the woman Booster Place. I saw all the women. So, and our women are living as if there's not a war going on.
Right.
Like there isn't a struggle. And that, you know, and part of why there's a lack of this concept of a struggle going on is because there hasn't been equally shared collective suffering around race.
Right.
The reason that black women are very hostile to Donald Trump is the way he deals. There is a suggestion how he carries himself that he would be as rough on a sister as he would on a black man.
Right.
And that he's indifferent to who he'll kick around. Joe Biden makes it clear he has a preference for black women over black men. Just
Right.
cabinet picks, all that. I mean, lock up all the black men and, yeah, I'll sort of do something for black women.
Right.
He's willing to play. In fact, black women's fear of Donald Trump is that he's not playing plantation politics to their favor, even though he's playing some kind of plantation politics, not necessarily. Notice there was no black female cabinet appointment, but he did put, say amen, somebody, Ben Carson in HUD. I hope he did some good for some black people. I hope. Are you getting me? He didn't do that for black women.
Right.
He did have Omarosa, and I think that they had an amorous relationship. And by the way, he's been nice to Omarosa. He never dogged her. Trump hasn't dogged him. Omarosa put out a book talking about him. You know how when a dude breaks up with a woman and he won't say anything bad, so she can't have an excuse not to come back? Notice how Trump hasn't said one bad thing about Omarosa. Never. Trump has kept his mouth shut. As much as Trump mouths off at people, Omarosa is the one person I've seen Donald Trump literally withhold vengeance.
Right.
Trump ain't playing the plantation politics that a lot of sisters want. Biden promises to bring back preferential treatment of black women over black men. And that's what makes him appealing. And the gay gays,
right,
and all of that stuff is anti-black and anti-male and anti-family. And I notice how they celebrated. They've never celebrated the Omegas or the Sigmas. I mean, John Lewis was a Sigma. You didn't hear about John Lewis being a Sigma. All that big funeral shit. They didn't mention his frat. I forget. I think. What's his name? Elijah Cummings, I think, was Alpha Phi Alpha.
Okay.
You didn't see Alpha Phi Alpha getting any attention. It's a black male fraternity. But when it's a black woman in a black female fraternity, sorority, you hear about it, the deltas and whatever. And it's always this thing of pushing this.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, it's your turn. I'm sorry. I just blab, but it's your turn. Let's talk about these simps
So, I apologize if this is one of your friends. And I don't know this individual personally, but I have watched his videos in the past and have followed him, and I don't follow him no more. And I ain't been following him since about 2 years. And this individual who I'm talking about is Dr. Boyce Watkins. And I think this is a problem in this neighborhood.
Simp.
Yeah. And I think Simp. Black men, we got to recognize our strengths and weaknesses. One thing he should not be doing nowadays, and I'm talking about Dr. Boyce Watkins, is talking about relationships, talking about, Kevin Samuels, whatever he's saying nowadays. He should leave it alone. He's great at finances. He's great at economics and stuff like that. But he should not be.
Some folks say. I have people who differ with that, but that's okay. So say that he's proficient. Obviously, it's helping someone. Thank God. Keep going.
Yes. And, one thing we do in this community where we try to hog the spotlight. I've noticed with black men, like Dr. Short was saying, we're catty, we're bitchy. Everybody can get a piece of the pie. Just like I'm on Dr. Short's podcast here to show right now. He's sharing his spotlight. That's what we should be doing. No one should be trying to take over anything and mess over people. That's a female or lower nature female trait. And yes, it is. That's a lower nature female trait. But to get back with Boyce, I'm seeing him do all this relationships shit, and he's talking about Kevin Samuels, and he's got these women on there talking this shit, saying this crazy stuff. He should leave it alone. He should not be talking about relationships and things like that. It should be just strictly money, economics, how to build a business, stuff like that. But you got these simps that are claiming they're not simps, but they're trying to act like they're not simps. I mean, it's just crazy shit going on nowadays. I don't get it. If you know a little bit about his story and who he's with now, and I'm not gonna get into all that, his personal thing, but if you know his story, he's a pure 100% simp. And it's just crazy what we allow nowadays, especially in the black male neighborhood nowadays. And again, we're a lot of us, like Dr. Short was saying, I'm gonna say it again, we're catty, we're bitchy, we act like women. We're a lot of us are raised by black women, so therefore we are black women. We think like them. We're in the embodiment of a black woman with a penis, pretty much. And that's why we go out there and kill each other and do all this crazy.
Yes, a black woman with the penis. I use that metaphor. It's exactly true. And Boyce, oh my God, Moise Watkins.
Right. Right. Yeah, he and many other people too. It's like, I'm not saying we have to be a caveman. We got to go out there and just, cut heads. I'm just saying a man is supposed to be able to stand on his square, either right or wrong. And it's too much wishy-washy shit going on. We do. If I'm wrong about something and I find out I'm wrong about something, a day later, I'm gonna come on here or whoever I'm talking to, or whoever I know, and say, you know what, damn it, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. But if I believe in something strongly, I need to hold my belief, in my opinion. And then what I noticed too, Dr. Short, is when these guys get around women, they'll be in front of us and say, oh yeah, fuck these bitches or this, that, and the third, whatever.
But I don't even want them to say fuck the bitch. You know what? Forgive me. I know what it's like to be in the third world or travel in another country. And when women are talking, when men come up, the women get quiet. When black men talk and black women come up, black men get quiet. Black men act more like women in a developing nation than like they're men.
Right.
And I know even when we try to have conversations, I noticed the black man with the shifty eye, he started trying to think who he can screw in the room. We can't even talk about real issues in our community because someone's always trying to think whether they're going to get some pussy out of it. And what they'll do is argue against someone like you or I on something they don't even believe in, because they know that a lot of black women like being lied to, and deception is an aphrodisiac. The more nigga lies, the more sex he can get. It's true.
Yeah, it is true. And unfortunately,
these women, the guys start lying. Man, I don't agree with nobody, and every black woman is queen, and every black woman is perfect, and no black man's never been shit. And he's trying to think someone's going to screw me if I keep dogging black men, because a lot of black women get off to black men being dragged. That makes them, I don't know if it sends electrical impulses through their clitoris to hear black men be talked badly about. But so a black man that goes and just talks bad knows that he's going to get someone that night. And black women subsidize black men that hate black men, in particular if they're no good nigger preachers. And honey, God's going to give you somebody that treats you special. And honey, they never say honey, even if they're fags. They don't talk to men with the same sweetness as they do to the women that they're using. They don't care about what's in their heart. They care about what's in their pocketbook. Most sisters don't understand that they're being played. I call it fat girl ranching, where a black man cultivates women who have financial resources he can get if he manipulates them and he's nice to them. A rancher's very nice to his cattle. And so he gets a collection of women that aren't necessarily, class C. And he has fat girl ranch. He has a group of fat girls that he lives off of. Just like if you're in an African pastoral culture, right?
Right.
You live off your cattle. And a lot of women aren't satisfied by these relationships, but yet they subsidize being passively disrespected. Right. Good enough to fuck, but not good enough to commit to and marry. And at the same time, as he lies to them, deep down inside, she knows that he's not really trying to hook up with her, right?
Right.
And this is part of the simp culture. Everybody loses. Everyone loses. Keep going. I'm sorry, but man, that was good. Yes, we're black women with the penis. I had thought to use that expression in this, and you just did it. You're the main one. I'm gonna run 1 second. I'm gonna let you just have the floor again. Hold on, not me. Hold on, you. you take the floor. I'm gonna disappear for a second. Just do another riff.
Yeah. Yeah, so to end off on the voice walking thing, like I was saying, a lot of men need to recognize their strengths and weaknesses. It's okay that you want to do everything, but not every man should be in leadership, or not every man should be doing certain things. And we got too much of this mixing and jumbling going on. We got to recognize in other words, are you an asset? Are you a liability? Is what I'm saying. And a boy should not be giving relationship advice. This is not because I'm not saying this because, I don't like him, whatever. He doesn't know what he's talking about. If you look at somebody's history, and again, I'm not going to get into that, what his relationship history is, it's crazy. So he shouldn't be anywhere near that. And also, I'm a millennial. And what I've been dealing with nowadays is a constant, if you will, gender war, where I want it to end. I want both sides to see where they're coming from and things like that. But you have one side, I allow the females that are not listening and that are not taking accountability. And I find that men, especially men with sense, people like me that have been raised to respect women and treat people a certain way, they have a certain disdain for us, if you will. And again, a lot of women in this community don't like a man that is articulate, that's educated, that's basically something they have to challenge themselves with. Anytime a woman at my age group that where she feels like she's challenged or feels like she has to actually step her game up, you know what I mean? Like, it's an issue. But she can get with the guys that are killing people with the pants below their ass, talking with two teeth, mumbling and shit. You can't understand them. This is what they like to be around because they can control them. They can't control an individual like me that has the consciousness, that has the ability to think for themselves. They don't like that. And again, the millennial women are raised to be their own team, but the millennial men are raised to be part of a team. So this is part of the clash. You got women that are raised to own a team. Then you got the men that are raised to be part of the team. So men that are raised like me are thinking like me. We're looking for the teammate. We're looking for the woman that's supposed to be in a position just like I'm supposed to be in my position. But the woman come into this league, if you will, want to take over, basically be the man. And again, this is not about men and women being better than each other. Nobody's better than each other. I just want everybody to be at an even slate, because the society is talking about equality and all this shit. But for black men, we have no such thing, in terms of equality. We don't have that. It's always been a slanted thing for us. And when we say this, we hate women, or we hate our mothers, we're gay, the same ignorant rhetoric. And this is not by white supremacy. This is by our own women, our own men in this community saying this dumb shit. So y'all got to wake up and try to make things balance again. I'm talking about balance. I say this all the time. I'm not talking about things that would be, like this or like this. I'm talking about bring back things into balance. It's that simple. But as men, we got to be accountable too. We got to say what it is. And if you lose pussy points, or you lose the girl that you that you want to be with, or whatever, so be it. She wasn't for you anyway. That's called being a man. Being a man is not, making a lot of money, having a good job, having, 20 million women, having the best cars. Being a man is staying on your morals, knowing how to use your hands and mind to build things, to figure out things, be a problem solver. That's being a man. Not having most chains and all that ignorant shit. This is what's taught in our society nowadays. But again, being a man is being able to take these hands here, this mind here, and problem solve and build and stuff like that. We're builders, we're problem solvers, we're hunters. That's what we're supposed to do. But nowadays, being a man is having a 6-figure salary and shit like that. That's what being a man is nowadays to these millennial women. It's crazy.
But you see, here's the problem. I agree with you. Nothing that you said I disagree with.
Yeah.
I'm not a millennial. I'm an Xer. I'm the first year of the X.
Right.
Don't mistake me. And boomers have completely fucked up. I'm just so sick of boomers. Damn. I mean, Corona came just in time. That's cold. That was cold. Let me take that back. I'm sorry. The boomers, I'm just going to say to you, the boomers really let us down. And what, I'll be 56 in a couple of weeks. The boomers really let us down because the boomers had better in terms of men and women, and they didn't pass. In fact, they blocked it,
Right,
and denied it. And I think that one of the ways that the boomers failed is that we're Boyce Watkins, Moist Watkins, or Moist Watkins. We have to have our own institutions and ways to make money and do things. And I don't mind the women wanting money, but here's my issue. Can you cook? Are you virginal? I mean, there are folks whose stuff is wider than the Grand Canyon. Everybody's been up in you, and you want to put all these demands of what a man should be. And you're spread all over the place. Can you have a child? Do you have pelvic inflammatory disease? I mean, see, I've noticed that Black men don't put standards. We're busy dealing with what we have to take to the relationship instead of saying, hey, look, what kind of mother are you going to be? What kind of mate are you going to be? Like someone wrote in here, can you have a conversation? What's your spirituality? Do you have an anger management problem? Is there a mental illness problem in your family? I notice, because I know certain folks, hey, I mean, can you have, because a lot of these women can't have babies. How many abortions have you had? How do you feel about killing a baby? Would you kill a baby? Blah, blah. I mean, just have this. We don't really talk. Black folks, frankly, we're fake as hell. Black folks have become really, really fake the last 50 years. We're so fake, it's almost, I can't even believe this is my ethnic group of how fake we are. Are you a lesbian? Well, women always ask the man, is he straight? I mean, half these women out here, half of them are dykes out here.
real talk.
When I was in college, but that was then because we were friends. Well, you mean if he's a friend, he screws his friend, that's bad, which I agree it's bad, but you mean if you do it, it's good? Have you had a turbulent pregnancy? Do you like your father? Do you like your grandfather? Is your mother a control freak? Is your mother, does she think I'm going to kiss her ass and she's going to be like Mad Max in this relationship? Let her know straight up, unless you're doing blowjobs on Thursdays and Fridays, you don't run anything here. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Anybody have a problem with me cussing? Go away. A timeout. That way you don't have to hear me cuss. Wonderful. Now, have I cussed the whole time? No.
Not really.
Please go away. Please go away. Go away. And force is one of these women that's mad. Let me come up with something I can say to correct him. No, broad. I pay for this service. I maintain it. I run it. Go, and you want to hear TD Jakes and his down low ass, go listen to him. Peace and love. I agree with you. Let me put this up there. We do want women to ask this stuff. With all due respect, we equalitarians, peace and love.
Yeah.
I'd love for the women to ask these men this stuff. What we are talking about is women picking the shallow ass men. So with all due respect, sister, we're talking about the low standards and how they pick a man. I notice that people never hear that. They only hear the criticism. Open your minds. We're fair. We're talking about people who don't play fair. Men with low sperm count, well, hell, talk to a man your age. Infertility is a major problem. So, look, I think everybody should ask everybody. I think we should have real questions about family. All of that. Absolutely, let's ask. And don't let one program be the entire thing. It's interesting. White folk get a full array of attention and listening from black people. Black folks will listen to you for 5 minutes and try to size you up. You can't size me up in one conversation. That to me is biased. There's more to me than this conversation. So when we go in on economics, and yes, I will be cursing the next segment because we're going to be talking about Lori Lightfoot. And yes, I can't wait to talk about that tramp and the stuff that she and Rahm Emanuel and Obama have done to Chicago. And we'll be talking about jobs and economics and wetbacks taking all of our stuff. However, we've got to talk about relationships, because if you can do all the fighting in the street that you want, but if you come home and it's hell, if we hate one another, that kids are fuck trophies instead of prize gifts from the Lord, then we're in trouble. I see black children thrown in dumpsters. Some black kid, man, raped a girl and threw her in a dumpster. And it's this pedophilia and stuff in our community. But I'll tell you, some of this happens when they bring any old kind of person into their house. When any old dude will do. When any old man will do. Any old woman will do. Any old orifice, any body, any genitalia will do. A godless, immoral, amoral, nihilistic approach to humanity, to human interpersonal relationships that we've got in our community. It's absolutely insane. And I can tell you, I'm thinking about a situation wherein a young man and a young woman were trading blows. The black guy was beating this woman, and me and another sister, broke it up. And the young woman gave us so much hell. I can take care of. She trashed us for being upset that she was being beaten. You understand me, Coolic? Like, gosh.
Wow.
The lesson to that is mind my business when a man and woman are coming to blows. There's a man down in Texas, I think in Dallas,
Okay.
who's picking up the black man, beating the black woman. The police shot the man to death.
Right.
He'd still be alive doing good things had he minded his business. There are things like that that people don't recognize, that guy basically gave up his life probably for folks in a stupid relationship. May have made more sense to his family for him to mind his business. Hold on one second. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to deal with this very quickly. I hate prostitution. Prostitution is sexual slavery. There's no way to make it nice. It's always going to happen because there are always going to be people short on change, short on common sense. There's always going to be people, for example, there's going to be a lot of people that are married who don't think it's their duty to screw their mate. As I had to tell one woman, you're married about your husband cheating on you, you've outsourced your job. If you screwed your husband twice as often, he'd be too weak to screw somebody else unless he was a greedy dog that you should get rid of. Says, you know what, the money that he's spending to keep the other woman, that's your fur coat, that's your Caribbean cruise. Screw him 3 times a week. In fact, throw a blowjob in. I bet you that nigga will stop working. You're worried about him, you need to worry about you. A lot of women outsource their sex jobs, and a lot of men are sorry as hell. What you need to know about prostitution, that 1/4 of the men who see a prostitute talk. They're trying to find a woman they can talk to without a whole lot of mouth and fighting and hostility. Yes, ladies, many of you are poor listeners, and yet y'all talk 10 times more than men do, want to be listened to 20 times more than you speak, And when a man halfway says something, yeah, that's more talking, more conversation. Some can't just listen. So many men are talking to prostitutes because they've got someone that they can pay to hear them. But I don't like prostitution. I don't like adult entertainment. Pornography is horrible. It's we anything that we sell another human being's body or exploit it, male, female, child, is some type of slavery or super exploitation. I don't like it. If I could stop it all, I would. The best I can do is not give any money to it. So I don't like strip clubs. I hate it. I hate black men participating in the sexual enslavement of our women and girls. And then there even now nightclubs for trans where this male prostitution is sucking up people. These things bring us down as a community. We don't need it. We need to have almost none of it. It's worse than a distraction. It is a destruction of our people. We shouldn't have this. The less, the better. In fact, if we had none of it, we'd be better off. We don't need the STDs. We don't need the pain, the suffering. We have enough. If we could get rid of prostitution and the sexual confusion in our community, it would almost be a paradise in the black community. Because with that, drugs and violence and other things would leave. A huge amount of what's bothering us is immoral habits or past immoral things. Mom and dad, you the baby by the mailman that the mama didn't know even. No, there's no way to regulate prostitution. It won't be fine. Who's ever saying that? Why don't you be a prostitute if you think it's so good? And I'm about to kick you out on links because Amsterdam is shutting down its prostitution and its drugs. I've got friends in the Netherlands, and that's white people. Why propose a solution that white people are using for black people? Whatever you are, whoever you are, we don't need it. We don't need prostitution. Maybe if you like it, that says something about you. Okay. Yes, I'm going to kick you out if you come up with some stupid idea that we should copy Amsterdam. Yes, I do. I don't like it, stuff. I would never push Amsterdam. People ignore the fact that there are people from Ukraine and other places that are sexually pimps. You still have pimping. You still have STDs. You still have drug abuse. Women in prostitution are women that are desperate. Women that have been driven into prostitution are women who are desperate. Well, if you're my brother, be a brother to my sisters. Never recommend that their bodies be commodified as something good. It's, to me, that just is outrageous. Prostitution is terrible. And by the way, our people have been prostituted for 400 years. And our black artists and hip hop selling their bodies. Yes, well, yeah, no, I don't look weak. I look moral. In fact, let me help you. You're gone. I don't have to listen to that kind of trash on my feed. I believe in God. I try to live a decent life. You want to push prostitution, LGBTQ, this is not a page. I don't need you to follow me. There are billions of people that support this kind of filth. Go out and join it. I don't welcome it. I'm against it. Ladies, that's a simp there. A simp likes prostitution. A simp likes sexual slavery. A simp thinks it's a good opinion that prostitution's okay. I'm not a simp. I hate the idea that any woman has had to sell her body to feed her kids, or a young girl is exploited, ends up out in the streets selling herself. I hate it. I will tell you all, wow, going back 50 some odd years, wow, 51 years, a young girl who used to sell her body in the bar a house over from my dad's church, a girl that was made a heroin addict by the age of 12 or 13, victim of pedophilia. Someone turned her out, light skin, long hair, and they had her selling herself. I can recall, my friends, this man beating her at the corner of 5th and 8th Streets, Northeast Washington, in 1969, and him threatening to kill her because she had gotten pregnant, because she was pregnant. He threatened to kill her. And I saw the beating, him beat her to the face. I'd never seen a man beat a woman like that. And the man threatened to kill her because she was pregnant and she didn't want to kill the baby. And the man shot her to death, killing her and the baby inside of her. That's my introduction to prostitution. Nobody helped this lady as he beat her. A pregnant woman being beaten, a pregnant black woman being beaten in public, and everyone minding their business. And then this woman is shot to death. And he shot her on the same corner that he beat her. I didn't see the shooting. I did see the beating. I've been done with prostitution since I was a child. No woman deserved to be treated like that. Whenever anyone talks to me about prostitution, that's all that runs through my head is this man beating this pregnant woman and no one helping her. And there are women now being kept in pit bull cages and everything else. And women who have to have sex with people's dogs and all these other things that are done. And women who have their wombs ripped out to be put into men to have babies. This is being done to women. Any real man loves women. Any real man that's not a simp. If every pimp were killed tomorrow, I'd feel great. I don't like men that hurt women. At the same rate, I don't like for women to mess over males, especially righteous men. The best friend that women have are men that respect and care about women. And that's part of why we talk about simps. A lot of sisters don't know who their brothers are. They can't tell. The guy who won't rape you, who won't hit you, who won't kick you, who wouldn't disrespect you, that's your brother. And yes, for all you sisters, no male. No man that comes on and talks about exploiting women and using women is welcome here. I absolutely won't take it. I hate it. I happen to be the senior resident for Upward Bound, and some people raped someone. They did this, and I didn't know who did it. Everybody knew. Had I found out, I would have had everybody put in jail. If it was a train, all the train would have gone to jail. Just because you hate pork chop feminism doesn't mean you think it's open season on black women. That's exactly not where me or this brother coming from. We hate anybody that will mess over black women. That to me, a rape should be a death penalty. Kill them. I don't want to share the same way we black men collectively suffer for the black men that rape and kill cab drivers. If these guys didn't exist, life would be better for us. They do stuff that we collectively have to pay for. When we go into the store and the person follows me, they follow me for the brother that steals. When someone doesn't want to rent a car or whatever to me, it's for the person that won't bring it back. We black men collectively pay for the crooked ass, simp ass niggas. We resent it. When the sister has the attitude and the nasty toxicity that they give to me and Brother Coolic, we didn't make them get the abortion. We didn't molest them when they were 10 or 11. We didn't do it. We're asking to be treated If I'm honorable, treat me honorably. If I'm dishonorable, I deserve what I get. What we get from a lot of sisters, I didn't dishonor the woman in the Aldi store. She dishonored me. The only thing that she understood was someone being dishonorable back. I wasn't the one that did it. A lot of people are operating without any morality in terms of how they treat one another. We're very unethical. And by the way, sisters have been told they have the right to be unethical because black men are so bad. I hear this on television, radio. It's like, wow. And there's never word in edgewise. And when we halfway, now that there are new voices, in particular among the millennials who can't take it anymore, are speaking up, a lot of the women are shocked. Wow. They're like white supremacists. I didn't know black people didn't like being in the back of the bus. Because they're used to it. So this is what we're deliberately having these conversations. I could talk about the economic collapse. I could talk about that. I love talking about that, reparations and MFM. But this is a conversation that Boyce Watkins can't have. And why was he ripping off, what's her name? Carnell. And Fly Nubian Queen and whatever, however else he's doing. I mean, the brother has Boyce Watkins supports gay adoption. He supports a lot of really.
Wow, really? Wow.
Yes, you didn't know that.
No.
No, why do you think? No. See, Boyce Watkins. I mean, and so he's like a weather vane. Depending on which way the wind is blowing is where he's going to point.
Right.
I will be against pedophilia legalization. I don't give a damn who don't like it. Fuck all y'all. Okay. Right? I mean, I don't care. If I think that Trump's better than Biden, I have family I haven't spoken to for 4 years. And if Trump goes back in, I won't speak to him for another 4. I meant what I said. Men say what they mean and mean what they say. A simp is a type of coon. He's a heterosexual coon.
Right. Right.
I mean, at least he's straight, but his ways are crooked.
Right.
He's a straight shooter in bed, but everything else about him is crooked. And I see Boyce panders to and masturbates black women, and I think that that's wrong.
Oh,
Look, they're great black women, and if you follow, more and more is have an opportunity, and I get stuff set up for the year. You will have sisters on my program. They will all be intelligent. They'll be strong. They'll be smart. They can commit. I don't like women who aren't intelligent, who aren't about something.
Right.
But they're not going to come on hormonal and I'm a woman. I don't let you just come on and say you a man. I don't tolerate that. I don't. Do you get the sense talk to me that I like stupid brothers? Because I don't. I mean, proof of that is I don't want anyone in here talking about prostitution. Okay, here goes selfish.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I didn't know Boyce did all that. And like you said, wherever the wind blows, he goes.
That's him, and that's kind of simpish. It's simpish.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Wow. But I really want him he needs to stop talking about relationships. He needs to stop. He's not qualified. He doesn't have the resume, this, that, and the third. He needs
but you know what? He feels that shows his contempt for black people to want to. I don't claim to be an expert in econ. I've got some people that will come on and talk about that. I want people that know what they're talking about. So to me, if his relationship is fraught with that, then it's like Steve Harvey is another person that probably should stop talking about relationships.
What is somebody in the chat room, Justin, whatever they said? I mean, I'm talking about many other dudes too, not just him. That's one of these prominent guys that's got a lot of followers that y'all listen to. Y'all like him. That's why I'm saying that. But there's a lot of men that need to quit talking about relationships because one, they don't know what the fuck they're talking.
Boyce Watkins knows how to contact us. Boyce Watkins will not allow a conversation with some type A black men because he'd get beat down. It's like Rollover Martin. They know the other people out here. They're terrified of other voices. It's got to be a collective thing where they're the only person on there. I mean, damn. Let me just say this, because for Mr. Rome, we're not trashing Boyce for what isn't factual. If Boyce puts it out there that he supports gay adoption, which I have real problems with because these folks are raising these kids on the hook to screw up. Maybe Justin Rome, you think that's okay. Maybe you do. I don't. I'm very clear, if you understand the history of this country, maybe you do not, that these people have always used superior economic and power relationships to extract sex out of people. It's not normal. It isn't normal. It's not normal, and it's clearly wrong. So I don't always disagree with Boyce, but I'm clear. Why would someone who claims to care about the betterment of the black community open up the floodgates for children who are taken from families, many times in a very arbitrary way, and given to white men? Maybe some folks want to come up in a gay different strokes family. I'm glad I didn't come up like that. And people do too exploit and screw kids. And as I speak, Father Flager in Chicago is being accused of having sexually abused black boys. And it's incredible. So adopting black boys, and then strange things happen. It does too happen. It's been going on for 400 years. And Father Flager is supposedly the friend of black people in Chicago. And Father Flager is a defender of black people in Chicago. So they say. And I'm not saying that Father Flager doesn't do good things, but I'm saying he's being accused in a very powerful way in Chicago. And this has happened before. There were 2 black boys that Father Flager supposedly raised. And when somebody started talking about what had happened, these boys mysteriously got shot up and were disposed of. My. We have many, many examples of our people being used by people who come into the community to do some of the things that our predators do. Simps allow that to happen. I know people, one person that was fighting in Child and Family Services, they were pressuring folks to give black children to white gay couples. And this is happening all over the country. We haven't yet reaped the harvest of suicides and deaths and stories that have come out 10, 20 years from now. And some of the people who sat back, who had a platform to say no to the evil, like Boyce Watkins, who went along with it because it seemed to be the way things were, the wind was blowing. That's my criticism. You stand whether people agree with you or not. Dr. King, if you've ever heard him say, what did he say? If they want to get along with the administration, that's their business. But right? Dr. King said, hey, look, if all of y'all want to run after Johnson and his BS, cool. Father Flager endorsed Obama, probably. I mean, come on. Of course, Chicago, they're all together. I want to reach out to someone and see something. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me see. We're coming up on 2 hours. We can do this again, brother. But why don't you take over for the next, say, 5-6 minutes?
Gotcha. Yeah. So much respect to I'm saying the wrong name. The name wrong. There's someone with an L there, but much respect to you. Again, Dr. Randy, thank you for being allowing me in your show here. But yeah, I mean, I'm just tired of these men in this community where they have $2 or $2 million that don't know what they're talking about with this relationship stuff, or how to get a woman, or how to treat a woman, or how to treat their own man. And what I mean is not no homosexuality. I mean, we as men need to know how to talk to each other, how to respect each other, and all that kind of stuff. We lost the art. So you have these fools like, and I'm talking about Boyce, and if he wants to come on my platform, he can. But again, I only have 450 followers, so he's not going to do that.
Oh, and you know what? You need to tell people about your platform, because you need about 600. You need 600 or 550 people.
Yeah.
Well, you need 600 people to follow your platform. Hold on. Tell me your platform so I can put it up here.
So the YouTube, the YouTube page is called Pineal Coolic. That's my YouTube name.
Spell it.
Pineal, Pineal, and then Coolic,
Pineal. Right.
And then Coolic, Coolic.
Okay, I'm gonna do this, and you tell me if I did it right. This is because we need to see you get. We need to see you get. Someone help me get to my 1,000. I need to help you get to your 1,000. So let me put this up here for people to see this. Tell me if that's right. PINEALCOOLICC.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I would love for people to, because what we want to do, I hope I can with you, Brother Coolic, is build a consortium of thinking Black people, men and women. I mean, if we find someone that's cool enough. Oh, wow. I am a white woman. This is cool. Okay, well, I'm glad. Oh my God, I'm crossing over. I'm a white woman who really appreciate Dr. Short's commentary. What's happening to the Black community? Does this make me nosy or needy? I don't know, Nicole. As long as you don't bother our flow, we're cool. Every now and then we have people from other ethnic groups that come in and try to disrupt. I never go to anybody else's thing, Irish or Thai or Bangladeshi, and I'm not really curious. I really want them to work out whatever their problem is. If they need my help, if they called me, of course. So if you're not hurting us, listen. But we did have to kick off one gentleman. I'm white and I want special attention. That's okay. Special attentions to get blocked. So if you don't bother us, we won't bother you. But we do like to try to have this amongst ourselves, because you know what? With all due respect, Sister Walker, and I have relative named Walker. Your family didn't know mine. Anyway, that we need to have our conversation amongst ourselves, because white people are not very honest about their stuff. They like it's all hidden. We don't hear about like I was at this event after the storming of the Capitol, and I guess people were taking mollies and they had a fight or something, and it was kind of cool because it's two white guys were fighting, and they thought I'd be upset. And it's just, wow, this is like a party at home, except nobody got stabbed. And we just kept it moving. But, as long as people are like not disrupting us, life will continue. Anyway, keep talking, brother. Keep talking. I'm not going to but please, this Pineal Coolic, you want to meet a young brother. They've got more edge than me. If you want to hear, we need to have as many different people have it, because to me, it's bigger than me. It's nice to meet you, brother, and to talk to you. It's the same thing with Dewan. We have to help you get a few, like 600 people, then he can go live, then we can do more. We need to push this out. Yes, there's someone putting down here. John Wilkes Booth was a drug dealer. It's true. And Mary Todd Lincoln was his side piece. And Abraham Lincoln allegedly had a love shack with the soldiers in the Union Army, on Old Rock Creek Road, which is less than a mile from my house. I can walk to where Abraham Lincoln used to get down with the men in blue. And I'm not talking about cops; those are Union soldiers. Yes, at the soldiers' home, that's where he used to do this. So, but by the way, back to Brother Coolic here. We need 1,000 people. So anybody that just wants to know, it's free. But Pineal, Coolic, you should look into that and add this brother. The conscious people that are, and committed people with values are trying to come up. If he had 1,000 people, that expands his reach. I want to thank all of you that listen to whatever I'm putting. Thank you, Colby, for subscribing. All of you that came in, that subscribed, I've been able to reach, according to YouTube, over 150,000 people, because I got 1,000 people to simply say that they might look at my channel. This brother is very good. He would probably, if he got the same break, imagine if the two of us were reaching 150,000 or 1 million people versus some of the negative stuff that's out there. Thank you. You have 2 subscribers. And I hope that you get more. Brother, you can come back anytime you want. In fact, you need to let me know other topics that you'd like to share about where we're not talking about these Black relationships, because I'm as interested. I have these other books here. I'm waiting to go back into eugenics.
Right.
I feel better now. I'm sorry. I mean, I was around my white friends. They were all smoking and stuff, and it really messed my sinuses up. But and someone says, call out Boyce Watkins. I haven't really said much about Boyce Watkins.
No disrespect.
We're not really trying to fight anybody.
Right.
But you ask a question, then I answer it. And I didn't say he was all bad. We say yes to the economics and the good things, but folks can say I don't talk about economics. I haven't done as much. That's true. But he does it. You can listen to him, or I can bring in Brother Jermaine or Brother Bryant. They're people I know. A lot of the times I'll just tell you about colored people. Brother Coolic, do they give you a chance to tell? Well, man, how many people you got? This? They don't even give you a chance.
Right.
They say no to you, but when you get 1,000, they'll listen. So I need to help you get 1,000. If you want, I need to come on your platform.
Yeah.
Next time I announce it, and we figure out how to do this, so we can pull this, so we can get a big, big number of people to follow. So you have 1,000. And I'm very proud of you. I have to say this to you. You're a millennial. You have no idea how distraught some of us are over millennials. You're one of the most intelligent. In fact, nobody would think you're a millennial. And I'm not putting millennials down. Mature, you think, you got yourself together. You could be anything but a boomer. And so I'm happy to help, to support, to do the same thing. And I've said this, I've had to say no to certain people, Brother Coolic, because some of the boomers, they don't know how they do antisocial things that they're used to doing, and you can't tell them. They've been engineered to be as they are. So I accept them, but I may not be around them. Some people you have to sort of leave, because you can't, and especially when they're formed as adults, they're the way that they are. So what I would say to you, brother, is come back. Let's do more. We could talk about everything. In fact, I really am happy for the millennials that are thinking. I tell you what, y'all know how to do all this technical stuff. If we got the millennials on point, because y'all know how to reach thousands, tens of thousands, right?
Right.
Then you can flip. We can turn this around. I'm very optimistic about Black people. And I'm not thinking about being against anybody. I'm thinking about us getting our shit together.
Right.
We used to be doing better than this. This right now isn't what I thought as a young person Black people would be in this situation here.
Right.
When I remember, let me say 30 years ago, my professor, Dr. Martin Kilson at Harvard, told me that the CIA had given them reports that the Black community would be completely destroyed by crack and AIDS. I heard this in 1990. The Black family would fall apart. There'd be lots of gayness. They planned this, socially engineered this out. I was told this. I didn't believe it. And I'm thinking about it right now. I says, wow, I was told all this would happen.
Right.
But with God, all things are possible to turn this around. And we have to put ourselves together. Oh my God, what's up with my phone?
Dr. Short, one thing, and if this is something you want done on your show, do you think about having callers in? Because it would be great if you could have callers come on your show.
I wouldn't mind having calls, but how do you do calls through this?
So I would have to explain that to you offline one day, because we could definitely get that going, because it would get your show jumping even more.
Oh, I don't mind as long as I can hang up on idiots. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, in fact, you know how to do some stuff for me, and I'll do a swap. I'll help you build yours up if you show me how to swing some of the stuff here. Gotcha. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it.
Okay. Well, as I say, treat me white. That's so cool, man.
That's right.
We're acting like like a hunting club, like, wow, let's go out and shoot some minorities. Okay.
Right.
So, well, I need to reach out to somebody in Chicago.
Okay.
So, if you want to talk, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I'm hoping if nothing else, I get you some subscribers.
No, I'm good. Again, thank you for letting me be on your platform, Dr. Short. And I know you said you're about to do something else. And again, I'll bite your mind, and I'll call you about that, getting callers on here, so you can have a live feed doing that.
Okay, I'm open. See you, my brother. Who y'all gonna call?
Coonbusters.
I'll see y'all. I'll be back for you guys on here. There are 150 of you. It's what time is it? It's 6:56. I'm thinking about, say, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm going to drop another program, see if I can have somebody else. I thought about Blog Talk, Casey Hawk, but Blog Talk people screw with you when they don't like your subjects. Like, you say something about sexuality and all of a sudden stuff doesn't work. I mean, they must have a whole bunch of people with dildos stuck up in them sitting on the boards. And when they get mad about some criticism, they mess up your feed. I don't I don't know, but I'm open. Let's see. If you've got some tech ideas, please. And brother, what I would like for you to do is send me a promo, anything, and I can put that up through my channel feed. I'll do a thing and promote your channel. Okay. Or I can take a picture of you and say, this is one of my partner stations. I'll do that for you happily.
Okay, I'll come up with that. And like I said, I'll call you this week and tell you about the phone thing and go from there.
Right. Okay. See you then.
All right. Much respect. Thank you.
All right. Love and peace, everyone. Okay. That's it for now. I'm going to be back on. I got some books. We were on eugenics and sex and Nazis. And I've got my books on Black nationalism coming in. I ordered my Houston Chamberlain books. And I may get a couple of other things. Thank you for everyone that's contributing. Thank you. Oh, my God, I see Roderick Thompson. How you doing? Hello, everyone. Look, eventually the brother said we'll be able to call in. Whew. Versus just having to do this thing on the side. That would be fun. Just as long as they're not ignorant. I mean, y'all know I'll be ignorant too. I believe in the equality of stupidity. Let me get off here. I will be back. I would say maybe an hour and a half. I'll send out a circular. Take care. Bye-bye.